The late autumn sun cast a golden-orange glow through the tall sash windows of the semi-detached house in Chiswick, West London. Inside, the scent of roast chicken and rosemary lingered in the air, mingling with the faint aroma of Earl Grey tea. The kitchen's sleek quartz countertops, brushed steel appliances, and a farmhouse-style sink was usually a place of warmth and chatter. But tonight, tension hung thick as steam over the dinner table. Lily, 20 years old, sat with her arms folded across her navy blue t-shirt, the fabric slightly wrinkled from a long day at university. Her wide-legged jeans skimmed the tiled floor, one foot tapping impatiently. Across from her, her younger brother was already clearing his plate, while her father, David, sat quietly, observing her with tired but knowing eyes. It had started with a simple request. "Lily, could you load the dishwasher after dinner?" She'd scoffed. "Why me? Jamie never does it." David had kept his tone even. "Because you're the eldest, and because respect isn't optional in this house." That was the trigger. Without another word, Lily stood abruptly, her chair scraping loudly against the floor. Her eyes burned with frustration, not just at the chore, but at the feeling of being controlled, as she'd later admit. In a flash of anger, she grabbed her half-finished plate, roast potatoes, carrots, and a neatly carved chicken breast, and hurled it against the cream-painted wall. The crash was deafening. Ceramic shards scattered. Gravy dripped down the tiles like dark tears. Her brother froze. Her father didn't move, but his expression hardened like cooled steel. Lily stood there, chest heaving, already regretting it, but too proud to show it. The silence that followed was heavier than any shout. David rose. His charcoal sweater stretching across his broad shoulders. He didn't yell. He never did. Instead, he walked to the sink, filled a glass with water, and took a long sip. Then he turned to Lily. "Go to the living room," he said, voice low but firm. "Wait by the armchair." "I didn't mean," she began. "Now, Lily." She hesitated, lips pressed into a thin line, but obeyed. Her wide-legged jeans swished softly as she stomped out, arms crossed tight over her chest. She slumped into the armchair by the bay window, staring out at the quiet suburban street, neat hedges, parked Volvos, the distant chime of a bicycle bell. Normal life. Nothing like the storm inside her. Minutes later, her father appeared in the doorway. He held nothing in his hands yet, but his posture said everything. "Do you understand why you're in trouble?" "Because I threw the plate," she muttered. "No," he corrected gently. "Because you threw food. Because you disrespected this home and your family with a tantrum. At 20, you're old enough to know better." She looked down at her scuffed trainers. "I was just angry. Anger is human. Wasting food while children go hungry? Disrespecting your home? That's a choice." He paused, then added, "I'm going to paddle you. 5 swats. Not because I enjoy it, but because you need to remember the weight of your actions." Lily's stomach dropped. She hadn't been disciplined like this since she was 16, but she knew her father meant it. The paddle wasn't cruel. It was rare, reserved for moments when words weren't enough. Still, shame prickled her skin. "Do I have to over your lap?" she whispered. "Yes," he said. "It's part of the lesson. You'll feel it." You'll remember. She nodded stiffly, heart pounding. David guided her to stand beside the armchair. The room was quiet, except for the ticking of the grandfather clock and Lily's shaky breaths. He sat down, patted his knee. Bend over. She hesitated only a second before complying, resting her torso across his lap, her navy t-shirt stretched taut over her back. Her wide-leg jeans offered no cushion. She knew the paddle would land with full effect. From the hallway cupboard, he retrieved the wooden paddle, smooth, dark oak, worn from time but never used lightly. He tested its weight in his hand, then positioned it. Swat one. Thwack. Lily gasped, fingers clutching the armrest. That's for wasting food. His voice was calm, almost sorrowful. Swat two. Thwack. She bit her lip. For disrespecting this home. Swat three. Thwack. A tear slipped down her cheek. For losing control in anger. Swat four. Thwack. Her shoulders shook. For forgetting your manners. Swat five. Thwack. Silence. Then, softly, so you remember to choose better next time. He set the paddle aside and helped her up. Lily stood with her back to him, wiping her eyes with the sleeve of her t-shirt. Her bottom stung sharply, but the real pain was deeper: regret, embarrassment, the sting of knowing she'd let herself down. David pulled her into a gentle hug. It's over, he murmured. Now we move forward. Without a word, Lily walked back to the kitchen. The mess still sprawled across the wall and floor: dried gravy, rice grains, a single potato wedged near the bin. She fetched the dustpan, a sponge, and a bucket of warm, soapy water. Kneeling on the cool tiles in her wide-leg jeans, she scrubbed the wall carefully, rinsing the sponge again and again until not a trace remained. She swept up every shard, double-bagged the waste, and wiped down the entire counter. Her movements were slow, deliberate, not rushed, not resentful. This wasn't just cleaning, it was penance. As she worked, memories surfaced. Her grandmother's voice during childhood visits in Yorkshire: food is a gift, love. Never turn your nose up at it. Her father working late shifts to pay for her tuition. The privilege of a hot meal, a safe home, a family who cared. She hadn't just thrown food. She'd thrown gratitude. When the kitchen gleamed again, she stood in the center of the room, arms at her sides, and whispered, "I'm sorry." Later that evening, David sat in the living room grading papers, a mug of Yorkshire tea steaming beside him. The house was quiet, peaceful once more. Then Lily appeared in the doorway, holding a fresh cup. She set it gently on the side table. "Chamomile," she said softly. "You like it before bed." He looked up, saw the redness around her eyes, the humility in her stance. "Thank you." She lingered. "Dad, I messed up. Badly. I know you weren't trying to control me. You were trying to teach me." He nodded. "I'll always correct you when you stray. Not because I want to punish you, but because I believe in who you can be." Lily managed a small smile. "I'll do better." The next morning, David found her in the kitchen early, setting out bowls and spoons for breakfast. Jamie wandered in, yawning. "You're up early," he mumbled. "Yeah," Lily said, handing him a banana. "Figured I'd help." Outside, London stirred to life. Buses rumbled down the high road. School children laughed on their way to Chiswick School, and mist curled off the Thames. Inside, over toast and marmalade, the family ate together in quiet harmony. No plates were thrown. No words were wasted. Only lessons learned and love, steady as the English rain.